People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party have kicked against the 55 billion naira allocated in the 2025 budget for the maintenance of the presidential fleet. This is contained in the 2025 appropriation bill sent to the National Assembly for approval. If approved by the lawmakers, over 55.5 billion naira will be spent on total overhauling of 3 aircraft engines in the presidential fleet, including fueling, fumigation, air navigation, cleaning, and other maintenance of the presidential fleet. The entire aviation ministry's 2025 budget stands at 105 billion naira, 953,496,365. The budget, which was scrutinized by our correspondent, showed that the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development has 71 billion 123,368,069 naira. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency gets 9,819,554,829 naira, while 7,975,364,319 naira goes to the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria. Others are the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau with 10,035,209,148 naira and the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, which was allocated 7 billion naira. Meanwhile, at least 19.43 billion naira was spent on the maintenance and operations of the presidential air fleet from July 2023 to September 2024, reporters gathered. Debo Adenira, the executive chairman of the Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, noted, "What we are getting from this administration is opposite to our expectations, an administration that has fallen in love with profligacy. It is time the government rethink its priorities and start putting the needs of its citizens first. The proposed expenditure on presidential jets is a national shame, and it's time for Nigerians to demand better from their leaders." Well, I'm going to stop there. Cheesy, let's get your take on this proposed budget for the presidential fleet.
Yes, you see, Pope John Paul II did say something, I'm going to quote him. He said, "Paria drinking intoxicates the mind." He said, "Drink deeply, that's where the honor lies." Now, what that means is, as soon as, because we're vulnerable, as soon as you mention an amount, 50-something billion on presidential airfare, everybody says, "That's too much. Why would you do that?" And they wouldn't look at the nitty-gritties of what they were saying. That, look, you're going to fuel this whole the air fleet and all of that from that day till the end of the year.
2025, and also maintenance.
Maintenance. They're also not looking at paying of the staff of that fleet. They're also not looking at the wages you pay, the things you pay when you land in other places. And I can tell you, those who are saying this, no. But it's just that when you mention it, because most times, if you begin to reduce these things into the kind of travel, and what is the president bringing in? I tell you that today, the highest animal farming company in the world has declared investing in 2025 $2.something billion, and that is the offshoot of the presidential travels. You don't look at, so if you look at $2.something billion and you match it with 55 billion naira, look at the percentage, and that's a billion naira, not talking about dollars. Then you look at what is the gains, where are they going to? The president will have to move from one place to the other. The Indians have announced, you can also see that Coca-Cola has said they are going to put in about 1.something billion in this year, and they are premised on the policies of government and what the government is doing with their travels. So sometimes those who have been in government, who knows that the government travels and they know why you travel like that, will now use this word 50-something billion naira as if it's, I'm not saying that 50-something billion naira is not a big money. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's not a big money, but I want you to convert it to even traveling on economy, on all of those travels, assuming that the president is going to be traveling. A president is not like me, who travels just like that. A president travels with a college of businessmen, a travel college to bring up investments in this place. It is when he travels, and all of this are yielding. I have just mentioned one, that okay, in 2025, a company the highest on earth, I'm not talking about in the world, on earth, is coming to invest in Nigeria for $2.something billion. Put it there, you will know that for 55 billion naira is not up to 1% of that money. And look at what that attracted. That's what you need to get. People mention as if, check past budget from 1999. And just what we need to do is to do investigative journalism, to look at past budget, and to see what was the budget for presidential air maintenance. And then you look at it in economic reality and see what that means today. And see where even when some of them were in government, what did they spend in bringing that? They are just looking at the gullible Nigerians. They give you say, ATN, for instance, gave Chizi or Masla 5 million naira. They say, what? Giving 5 million naira for what? They would not understand the resources. They would not understand what you're doing with it. They would not understand. So, and to begin to define all of that, the man who is there as the Minister of Aviation and all of that would have known what they would before they put in that. And then, of course, we have our the National Assembly to also vet it. So we're waiting for them. Well,
I quite understand the facts how the benefits that comes when the president has diplomatic ties with other countries and the benefits of his traveling out. But so far, it's been 1 year and some months since we have this administration in power. I would like to know, what are the benefits, aside from the one you just cited, rightly, right, the company that's coming to invest, because they've not come yet, so we aren't certain, right? So what has he done? What are those benefits of his trips? We've had lots of trips. He has traveled to several places, so I would like you to point them out.
See, I wish I could do the chronicle of that. The Minister for Industry, was it Minister for Industry? Well, no, I think Minister for Trade and Commerce did have last year about 1.something billion naira coming to the ministry for the distribution to the manufacturing industries. Those are benefits. And of course, you know that these things are not, as soon as he said, well, it hasn't come yet, as soon as a company, announces that, they already done that. What means that they have accepted to go ahead to invest. And this thing is not something that just comes in a day. It comes in many of negotiations, moving from here, talking to them, diplomatic negotiations and politics and business, using our businessmen to also go to talk to them into it. They begin to yield fruit. Very soon you begin to see them yield fruit. As they begin to announce and begin to come, they have announced it. Now look at what an announcement means. You see, firstly, the benefit of that announcement is that it has given impetus again in our economy. A lot of people begin to come and invest around where they're going to invest on. That's what people do. The multiple effect of those announcements has a lot of. Also, it also gives trust. That's what the government needs. When you have trust deficit, especially it has to do with the diplomatic ties, on trust deficit, it's a huge one. When companies begin to announce investment, that means that you will begin to see other companies that may not have the window of announcements to begin to come and invest already, because each company comes with a whole lot of multiple effect, multiple impact on the economy. And so a lot of things, like I've said, I have faulted the government for not communicating effectively, for not coming to communicate in the dialect that our people will see. Look at this thing, look at what is going to happen here, look at what is happening there, look at what is happening. It doesn't just come in a day. But of course, they have said early period of this year, which is the first quarter of this year, they will start. 3 of these companies will start here. And you know what I mean? That's huge. None of those companies can employ less than 50,000 persons. And that's huge. That's impactful.
Okay, so I'd also like to ask, how does this expenditure impact the national budget, especially in terms of allocation to critical sectors like we have health, we have education, we also have infrastructure. It appears that this presidential maintenance is given more precedence.
Now, let me tell you why they done. Have you not asked why they have not picked on education? You remember, let me tell you, they have not said, even when they are criticizing this, they have not said the education is less funded. They have not said the health sector is less funded. They've not said so. Do you understand? Maybe they didn't tell you also that what the government has done is to get people to begin, the pharmaceutical, to come and produce their drugs in Nigeria. They have not said so. It looks like they are satisfied with the budget of defense. They are satisfied with the budget of the critical sector. The only place they want to pick up is the presidential air fleet to look at. Why are they not talking about education? They should bring up education and see what the budget is for education. They should look at industry, look at the security system and the defense, look at the Ministry for Works and all of that. What they are doing, they should bring it up. I'm sure that the budget is about trillions of naira. So 55 billion naira wouldn't have been the only thing that's in the budget, that's captured in the budget. They should also bring it. So for me, why criticizing on this? They have said, oh, apart from this, if you just remove this, the whole budget is correct. That's what it means. Because they have not said, because of this thing you have done here, it's affecting education. It's affecting this. They have not said so. It means that they have agreed that the education sector is funded and the budget given to it is enough for it today, this year. And they have also agreed on other sectors, and agricultural sectors and all of that. Like I've said, the health sectors alone, that they are bringing companies that are coming to manufacture in Nigeria with our local manufacturers.
All right. I also like to ask you this as well. Do you think there are alternatives to such, to the 55 billion naira set aside for the presidential fleet? Are there alternatives considering the cost-saving measures and also security concerns?
Like I've said, maintaining the presidential air fleet is not a child's play. And you have to maintain it because your president is the symbol, is a personification of the country. The president must travel, the president must meet other different. And the president of Nigeria is almost like the president of Africa. The same thing the president of the US is. I don't want to know if you put their let them quote what it takes to maintain the presidential air fleet of the American. And you'll see what that means. So for me, the National Assembly is there. That is why they are there. And then, of course, there's a public hearing that people they should go there and defend it and then criticize it and see how they could provide alternative, to maintaining those aircrafts.
All right. Considering the fact that not a lot of people, not a lot of the masses know about this, how does this allocation affect the public's perception of government's priorities and its impact on political support?
That is why I am faulting the federal government for not being communicative enough. Because what the opposition is doing is to look at the vulnerable public, to say, look at what all the people discussing around the road now is president is using 50 billion naira to maintain his aircraft. It's not even the Nigerian aircraft. So the people should come on board to say, look, this is what we are doing here. This is what we are doing here. That's why I say they're not communicating. They're not going to be communicating for government.
All right.
I'm saying the government has not communicated enough.